Okay, I'm s- I am verifying if there is. I I can't see it on YouTube. You see something on YouTube? Okay. We are live now. There is uh, okay. I hear your a sound. I can hear something. Okay. There is some echo. I close YouTube. Okay. Uh, Good evening. Hello everyone. Welcome to our conference concert, the final concert of Musica Prospettiva. This season of Musica Prospettiva, I am Norberto Oldrini, artistic director of Musica Prospettiva, that is a festival and also an international call for scores. This concert will be by Irene Novi, a great Italian pianist, and I apologize for my bad English, but I hope you will understand. I start with a short video now that uh, will show you where I am now. That is Torrita di Siena, the venue also of all our concerts, of our festival. It is a video of 1 minute, so I'll try it. Go. These were okay. We have also Baldwin. Hello, Baldwin.
Hello.
Welcome. Right in time. Um, Hello, nice to meet you. I am Norberto Oldrini. Okay, I can't hear you. You are unmuted. Uh, you should take off the mute of your microphone. Okay, we go on. Okay, hello. And these images were by my son Gaspare. These images of Torrita, and this is the place where you your pieces should have performed, but because of the pandemic, we recorded it at Irene's home, and two words about this strange edition of Musica Prospettiva, without other concerts, and only this one with this concert in streaming. First experience for me, for us, and I hope all will works, technically speaking. This call for scores was with 400 composers, compositions from I don't remember 300 and maybe 80 composers, with very high quality of composition, and as Jari, we was 5 people, and it was very difficult to select the best pieces, because we loved so much, so many people, so many pieces of the composers. So it was a very difficult choice. Irene, please, can you tell me if it is understandable, my English?
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Very good.
okay, thank you. Um, about you, we have the 3 winners of the Call for Scores, and Irene, the pianist. And I would like to start maybe with the first piece. I also am so happy to have all of you with us from different corners of the world. Baldwin, can you hear me? Baldwin?
Yes.
Okay. May you tell me how I have to pronounce your name, so I don't mistake?
Yeah, sure. It's Baldwin Jang.
Jang.
Sounds like a
Baldwin
J.
Jang.
Jang.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Baldwin was the winner, the first prize, with the great piece that mix Western music and Eastern music. I don't want to say anything more. I would like to hear from Baldwin if he wants to say, to tell us something about his piece.
Well, first off, thank you so much, Norberto, for hosting this singing competition and opportunity, and thank you so much, Irene, for a really amazing performance that I've heard, and really just very thorough and detailed collaborative process. I was really impressed with how really close you got with the sounds of the piece and the notes on the page, and yeah, I really enjoyed exchanging voice memos to kind of really get how you were, what made sense to you, what didn't make sense to you, and how you were interpreting the piece, bit by bit. Yeah, I mentioned my piece. So it's called Memory Events. It takes inspiration from traditional Vietnamese music, where my family's from, and it specifically takes I can't see anyone else, but I think this is still
Okay,
okay. Uh,
we
yeah.
are here.
Oh, okay. There we
Uh,
go. Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Good. Uh, yeah. So it takes inspiration specifically from this form of traditional Vietnamese music called chao ban. It's in this practice, a band of musicians put a me trance state, and they do this by playing really repetitive music. And when the medium's in the trance state, the medium embodies ancestor spirits or local deities, and people make offerings to the medium. And I was interested in this because my parents came to the United States as refugees from Vietnam, but I actually know very little about their experience other than the little bit that they've told me, and I haven't spent that much time in Vietnam. So yeah, I was first interested in this process of channeling and connecting to an ancestral past in through music and in a non-verbal way that I think music allows us to access. And then I was also interested in the tensions that result when you try to take music outside of the Western tradition, here specifically Vietnamese music, as inspiration when you are writing for the piano, which is a very imperialist, equal tempered, third Western instrument. So the bit is about these tensions of connecting to the past in a nonverbal way, and also drawing inspiration from the East, writing for a very Western instrument. Is everyone still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we are here. No, no, don't worry. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Uh, mm, Irene, do you want to tell us something about,
I'd love
or
to.
we? Okay,
Sure. Um, okay. I was very how can I say? I was very attracted to these sonorities when I also listened to the piece amongst the others. I found it very fascinating. I'm not at all an expert in Eastern music, I must be honest, but I am very attracted to that world, and so it was appealing to me um, to play something from which had that kind of sonority, and it was very challenging because I'm the piano is prepared in this piece, and the preparation was quite challenging. I must be honest, I'm not at all an expert. Um, I've had quite a few experiences with contemporary music, but it's not my main field. So it was very challenging for me um, to work with all these pieces, but with the piano preparation in particularly, because it was difficult with the distance, and also um, trying to find the right quality that Baldwin was looking for. There was a stage of the work when I would send him voice messages with some of the sounds, because I was looking for them, but it was really not easy. Also, probably the piano which Baldwin used to prepare the piece had a different. I mean, not probably, for sure, it had a different structure to mine, and so often, like pianos, I'm saying for whoever's listening to us who isn't from the field or stuff, pianos are built in different ways. I mean, different makes and different lengths. They have different materials, so different responses. And for example, Baldwin was looking for an effect in a certain range, and I had a piece of what is it called? The structure of the piano. I'm not sure what we call it in English. It's piombo in Italian. It's the main structure was right in the middle of these chords. So he was looking for this range in this range. He was looking for a particular sonority, and it was difficult because I couldn't use the same material along all the strings. So I had to, I don't know, figure it out. And then another part of the piece had so there was the bottom part of the piano. I'll just explain this for whoever's listening. The bottom part of the piano was prepared with cardstock. Kind of this metallic sound of the vibration of the cardstock stopping the vibration of the chord and at the same time vibrating itself. So creating this like double percussive effect. And then a very interesting part, which all my friends who I was asking, can you give me some hints or how would you do this? And they were all fascinated how these magnets, which he uses inside the piano, detune the piano, but they don't make the note higher, but they make it lower, which usually by preparing the piano, my friends made me reason that it's much easier to get a higher sound because you make the chord shorter. And instead, with these magnets, it's actually lowering the intonation of the chords, quarter of tones and stuff. And it was difficult because these magnets, while we play a percussive instrument ourselves, they jump a little bit. So we stopped it with Baldwin helped me with this with some sticky paper. And then there was another part. There's the higher range instead, which was prepared with a heavy bag of rice, which was also very interesting because it's also got a deep meaning in an Asian culture, and at the same time, it's used as a mean to create a kind of sound experience. So it was stopping the chords, and so it was these three were like the main characters, and then there was some clothespins to create octaves in on other chords. I mean, it was quite a, and the tough thing was, I mean, me having to prepare all three of the pieces plus like other things that I was working on. And I couldn't always prepare the piano and de-prepare it because it was quite an elaborate preparation. So that's why with Norberto, in the end, we decided to do 2 sessions. And we did one session of recording with Baldwin's piece and another session with the not prepared piano. So it was a very fascinating experience for me, and difficult but challenging, as the piece itself is quite challenging. I mean, I would say very challenging in a virtuosistic way. It's I'm not sure if but it was really challenging to prepare it. So anyway, fascinating and very appealing to me. I hope you enjoy it. I don't know if you have any other things to add, or if I was wrong in describing something, Gordon, please do correct me.
No, that was really beautiful description, very clear, and I just want to say thank you so much for exceeding, like the standard because it really was a really beautiful thing. I'm excited for everyone to hear it. Yeah, I was really I was with the phrasing that you were able to get, and these long lines that you built out of these different sounds through the preparation of the piano. And I liked the tempo that you picked, actually. At first, I thought it was a little slow, but actually, I think it really worked with the phrasing that you built in. Really, so.
Okay, thank you. We are now going to listen to it. Just a second. Okay, Irene, thank you. Great job. Do you have someone, any question or something to ask to Baldwin or Irene?
Congratulations, Baldwin,
Okay.
on the piece. Did you use certain Vietnamese elements, certain existing motives or tunes, like known tunes, or were they composed tunes in kind of tempered style, or how did you approach the integration of Eastern and the Western instruments?
That's a great question. Well, first off, bravo to Irene. Really wonderful job. Again, I really thought about the integration of Western elements in Vietnam. And one was thinking first about the fact that this piece is for solo piano. This music is traditionally played by a band of musicians, like 3 to 4 people. So function of the piano preparation was to get these distinct instruments essentially within the piano. So you have the cardstock instrument, you have the magnet instrument, and you have the rice instrument. Actual instruments, I think, gives the piece like, it's almost like, I think if you close your eyes, listening to this piece is a variance, because it almost sounds like an ensemble piece and not something for solo piano. Yeah, that was one integration, was thinking about, how to get this sense of abandoned musicians, and largely I just kind of thought about polyphony, very like Western idea, to achieve that illusion. And then the second, I definitely took pitch ideas from Chauvin, specifically this scale that appears throughout a lot of Chauvin, especially from the central region of Vietnam. It's basically a blues scale, except the tritone is flattened microtonally, so it's like a quarter tone flat, and the end's a little flat too. So that was another thing that the magnets helped with, is that it helped get this alternative intonation to sound a little bit more like the traditional Vietnamese scale, and for the Western equal temperament.
Okay, thank you again so much, Baldwin. Congratulations for your great piece, and thank you for having participated at our call for scores. Now, I think we can go to the second composition. The second prize. It was a composition by Robert Baker. It is I don't remember now the full title, because it is a phrase of from a sonnet by Shakespeare. I leave the words to Robert, that will introduce us his piece.
Sure.
Okay, we are listening to you.
Thanks, Alberto. Yeah, the piece is the title of the piece is taken from a Shakespeare sonnet. It's number 65, and the line is, "Nor gates of steel so strong, but time decays." And I was writing the piece some years ago, and I find titles very difficult. Often I struggle with titles to find the right words, and I was about halfway through the piece, maybe, and I didn't know what I would call the piece. And so I started to just read through some sonnets by Shakespeare, as one does. And I don't know why I was looking through there. But number 65 struck me because it fit perfectly with my musical ideas about a kind of disintegration over time. And Shakespeare talks about this, how things that we think of as being strong, like rocks and steel and brass, also over time eventually disintegrate, and time always wins. And so the idea of the music essentially fighting against time, but time is really always going to win, and the music tries to stay strong, but eventually weakens and weakens and fades away at the very end. And this, I thought, fit with the idea of the piece, and I'm not a poet, so I figured I'll use somebody else's words, and they'll be better than me. So.
Okay, thank you. And Irene, would you like to tell us something about?
Again, it was a real pleasure to work with this piece. I really enjoyed the freedom which I felt in the interpretation, and that also you give to the interpreter, I find. Also, a lot of questions that I was asking Robert, we were kind of figuring it out together, and I thought that was fun from my side. And I was very also attracted to this piece because I find that that there's I don't know, maybe a bit of mysticism in the character, and yeah, freedom in time, and strong contrast, but also an introvert side, which is quite maybe it dominates for me in this piece. So that's what I can say about my experience. It was very, very nice to work with it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So we can listen to it. Another great piece.
Since brass, nor stone, nor earth, nor boundless sea, but sad mortality sways their power, how with this rage shall beauty hold a plea, whose action is no stronger than a flower? Oh, how shall summer's honey breath hold out against the wreckful siege of battering days, when rocks impregnable are not so stout, nor gates of steel so strong, but time decays? Oh, fearful meditation, where, alack, shall time's best jewel from time's chest lie hid? Or what strong hand can hold his swift foot back? Or who his spoil of beauty can forbid? Oh, none. Unless this miracle have might, that in black ink my love may still shine bright.
Great.
Irene.
Thank you, Irene, and thank you, Robert, for your piece. I love this final. Um, I need to say that the Shakespeare sonnet was played by Michel Fahrenheim. Please, Irene, help me with the pronounce of this. Okay, Michel Fahrenheim.
Correct, Michelle Fahrenheit.
Okay, and the
My
room,
cousin.
and the room with the piano is the room of our concerts, empty due to the pandemic, and with the piano, a piano alone, without people. Something to say about comments?
Yeah, I think it was beautiful, beautiful piece and beautifully performed as well. I love how you used the overtones of the piano and the pedaling were very effective. So congratulations, it was beautifully done.
Thanks you. Thanks, Irene. Yes, really beautiful.
Okay, now we go on with the composition by Jion Chung, correct? Thank you. The title is Scissors, a little bit easier, and for me, I think you have something to say about your composition. Won the repertoire prize, so we hope Irene may perform it again more times, like also the other two pieces. We the word is yours, Jiong.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Let me share my screen because that's what I always do.
you.
All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Jiyeon Chung. Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm truly honored to be here to share my piece with all of you. Thank you, Norberto and Irene, for your hard works as well. I'm a pianist composer based in Seattle, Washington, in the United States now. I'm originally from South Korea, and I moved to the United States in 2008. Currently, I teach composition and theory at Illinois Wesleyan University. So as a pianist, I was trained in Western classical music tradition since I was little. So I favor Western musical languages as a medium for composition. Then, as I mentioned earlier, I was born and grew up in South Korea and observed Korean traditional music as a native. Because of this multicultural identity, it has always been my passion to create works that integrate my native culture into my musical writing in some way. Sometimes I combine those both musical languages, and other times, as found in many of my recent works, Korean cultural influences such as, of course, traditional music, or also K-pop, dance, literature, painting, nature, social problem, political situation, etc., serve as the inspiration for my works written in a Western musical style. Having those two different cultural perspectives allows me to see one culture as an abundant source of creations from the point of view of the other. It naturally led me to find ways to embrace both in order to establish my own musical voice as a reflection of my identity. So Caesar's trilogy was an extension of that experiment to incorporate Korean culture into my writing. It is a series of 3 works that share the same source of inspiration, the Caesar's dance. The piece we are going to hear tonight is Caesar's Fantasia Toccata for solo piano, the first piece in this series, which I wrote in 2017. The Caesar's dance is a Korean traditional dance performed by taffy seller in farmer's market to attract attention from people passing by. The dancers use a special type of scissor, as you can see here on the screen, to cut the taffy as well as to create percussive sound while performing the rhythmical dance. So I aim to bring out the percussive nature of the scissors in my piece, so you will hear quite percussive use of piano throughout the piece. Also, to create musically accelerated sound, the dancers employ 장단, a Korean traditional rhythmic mode. I'll talk about it a little more in a few slides. Then, writing this piece, I try not only to bring out the auditory characteristics of the dance, but also the visual aspect of it. So you will see what it is in a few moments. Lastly, the dance tends to be very showy and dynamic in nature to get attention from the crowd. For example, sometimes the dancers throw the scissors high up in the air, spin themselves around and catch them, or they perform all those crazy sort of tricks. So I also try to bring out some virtuosic techniques of the piano performer. So now let me show you what it really actually looks like. The taffy is called a yacht in Korean, and these are the taffy sellers you can see here. You can also see it's a tradition going back generations, as the first painting here is from 18th century. And this is the real taffy seller from the farmer's market. Yeah, quite interesting background music, huh? And then there's this percussionist slash dancer named Seokjin Ko, who elevated this tradition to an art form on stage. With the 장구 player here, the drummer accompanist, he raised his dance to another level. He's a part of, here is the part of performance. Let's watch it together for a moment, and I'll talk you through what to listen and watch. Oops. Rhythmic pattern established. Circular motion. Pattern changes. Hand crossing of the 장구 player here. Another pattern. Virtuosic. Rather fancy hand crossing here by 장구 player. Circular motion. You get it? Quite fancy. Now getting ready. Threw scissors high up in the air, and he failed to catch it this time. He's saying higher, higher. Okay, let me try. Let's see. So this time he catched it. So all this kind of, things integrated into my musical reinterpretation. As we kind of got the idea what it is, let's take a closer look at the piece itself together. So as I said, one very important element of traditional Korean music is 장단, I mentioned earlier. 장 means long, 단 means short. Similar to the rhythmic mode in Western music, 장단 is the combination of long notes and short notes that forms a kind of rhythmic pattern repeated over a set unit of time. As you can see here on the screen, meter, tempo, accent, and patterns define each types of 장단. So first, I took the idea of 장단 and created several repetitive rhythmic patterns, as you can see here. Or something like this. And then, second, you will see the pianist hand crossing, as you saw during the dance by Changu, the percussion accompanist guy play. With different registers of the piano, the pianist will have a lot of moments of hand crossing throughout the piece. And you will also hear lots of fast runs and glissandi portraying the circular motion of the dancer, as well as the motion of throwing the scissors high up in the air. So all those different musical materials are interwoven in a rather freer form of Fantasia Toccata. So well, that was about the piece, to put it briefly. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, or you can email me anytime. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Anyone? Question? Irene? Something?
I don't really have much to add. Just this piece was great. It was great fun to play. So the same fun which you probably feel while you're watching the dance is it's also fun to play, and it was also pretty challenging on a technical point of view, but also very pianistic. So I don't know if you say that in English, but it was interesting to hear that you're also a pianist, because it I don't know, it has a kind of writing. It works very well on the piano. So it's difficult, but it's also gratifying how it's written. So
That's very glad to hear.
yeah. It was great fun to perform, and I kind of got. I was feeling it was getting better as I was performing it. It was a real shame with all these pieces. I mean, it's really difficult for a performer. I've never recorded a concert like this, and to have no performances in front of anyone before the actual recording is really tough. When we're used to performing in front of our friends and in front of this and in front of that. And my first performance of all these pieces, which are not pieces which I have in my repertoire, was in front of a camera. So I mean, it was tough, but very enjoyable experience. And also, I found it interesting that at first, when I listened to the piece, what you were also saying, that you don't often write pieces which are inspired by Eastern culture, because my first reaction wasn't. I didn't think it was inspired by, like, I wouldn't have thought it was inspired by something with a popular folk character, and it was really interesting to discover that afterwards. And a lot of things absolutely made a lot of sense, but the actual, I don't know, kind of techniques and stuff were more Western. I think I'm sure you agree with that. So it's interesting to find out after, in a second moment.
Okay, thank you, Irene. We are going to listen to it. Great job to everyone. Sorry, it was maybe a little delay in the audio, or only for me. I can't hear anything.
A little.
Okay, I don't know why, but I'm sorry about that. But the piece was great anyway, and also Irene's performance. So thank you. But I can't hear anything from all of you. Why? Okay. Someone is there. It's not a technical problem. Comments, questions?
Yeah, Gion, I really loved the piece. It's really fun and seems what I loved about it is that it makes sense musically, but it's also really visually appealing. And I loved the background that you gave us about the folk tradition it came from, and I love how you really incorporated or thought carefully about the physical movements. So my question for you is, does your thinking about physical gesture and theatricality ever spill over beyond the instrument? Like, do you have any work that engages with these physical dimensions and the embodied nature of performance, like outside of notes and sound?
Well, the piece that's going to be premiered next week, 2 weeks from now, is actually based. I mean, it's the inspiration was from K, let's say Korean b-boy dancing, the cruise. So that pieces, I also reinterpret their movement, such as pop rocks or freeze and all that, what they do into the musical characteristic. And also I collaborated with the dancers / visual artists. So I do have the separate visual portion for that piece, but this piece actually, what Irene played was not. It was a little different, and because as you said, when we see the performance of the scissors player or even the jangu player himself, we do enjoy both visually and our ears as well. So I try to find a way to adapt that into the piano music writing and piano music performance, and I think Irene did a great job. And I don't know, yeah, if it spoke to you. I mean, that was what I tried, but yeah. Did I answer your question?
Okay. I think we are at the end. I would like to thank everyone, you that are here and from any corner of the world, and also Irene for her great job, and also all composers that participated in our Call for Scores. There were really great pieces, and I am proud about it. Thank you also to people that were here for this conference concert. I hope they have listened to something that they could appreciate and like. I hope you will be with us more times, and subscribe our YouTube channel. And if you like to say something, okay, Irene?
I would just like to thank Norberto for
You're
making all
welcome.
of this possible, because I think it's really very tough on all us musicians. We've all had to become great technicians in the past year or so, and it's not really what we chose to do in the beginning. It's just trying to make it all possible, just the same with the current situation. And he was very kind. He came to my house to record twice. I live in Florence, which is an hour and a half away. It's not too bad, but anyway.
Yes, the concert were recorded in Florence, of course.
Yeah. And he also did all the editing, and I mean, it's quite a lot of work. So anyway, I really appreciated it, and very good work. Thank you for inviting us all. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you all, and
to all the composers. I've really enjoyed all your works very, very much.
And I hope it will be starting to next collaboration or communications or anything.
Maybe because we don't have a public, we can give Roberto and Irene a round of applause. Maybe we can take off our mutes and make it sound like a concert.
Thank you so much, Irene. Thank you so much, Roberto.
Thank you, Baldwin.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good night.
See you. Good night, and so good night for us.
Good day for the rest of you.
Okay. Thank you. I am closing. Maybe.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye bye.
Ciao.